First thing I want to explain is the recipe calls for a shell steak. The easiest way to explain that is to get a T-bone and show you. On a T-bone you have the tenderloin here and you have a ribeye here. The front half of the ribeye that runs parallel to the T-bone is a shell steak. You can do what I'm going to do here and buy the T-bone, cut out the tenderloin, reserve it for another recipe, then cut out your shell steak, or you can simply put tenderloin or another steak in there. That's the recipe calls for. And it's pretty simple to do. Let me show you what I'm going to do here. Just follow the bone. Gotta squirm around a little bit. Let's turn it over the other way. And that's a shell steak, as the recipe calls for it. Now we trim it up a little bit. Get some of this off because it's going to be served in a sauce instead of traditional grill. It'll be pan fried, served with a sauce. So we want this thicker piece of fat to come off. We're going to be relying on the marbling on the inside, so we got a choice steak here. I'm just feeling to see if there's any tough spots I need to pull out. Anyway, that's a shell steak. And like I said, we'd go ahead and do the same thing to cut the tenderloin out, and we're going to reserve it for later. We're not going to use it in this recipe. And that's tenderloin. Next thing we need to do is take our peppercorns. We want to crush them, crack them. We don't want to make it real fine. You can use a mallet or a bottom of a pot. You need a pot that's kind of heavy to do that with. And I've got a heavy bottom small skillet to do that with. A whole peppercorn inside of the steak would be awful hot, so you want to at least crack it. That way it breaks down a little bit in the cooking. You're trying to... Do I have any whole peppercorns in there? No. Great. You want to rub it in and press it in, make sure it adheres real well. Now we're going to turn it over and do the other side. I'm not sure you can see what I'm doing here. Where you can see. Rub them in, press them in. And looks like I need a little more on the other side. I'm trying to make this even as I can. And there's our 2 peppered shell steaks. And next step, we'll heat our oil, and when it almost gets to a smoky point, we add our steaks. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see smoke coming off the top of it. It's time to put the steaks in. 3 minutes on this side. That's 3 minutes. Now 2. And that's the 2 minutes on the other side. Put these in the plate. We're going to pour off the cooking oil. I'm going to add a tablespoon and a half of butter. I'll melt that butter first. Take it off the burner. Make sure we don't burn it. The pan's hot. So we'll melt it gently. If it's going too hot, pull it off again a minute. Melt the butter gently. Turn your burner down a little bit. Okay, now 1 tablespoon of shallots. A shallot's in the family as onions and garlic, lily family. It's kind of a cross between flavor, would be described as a cross between an onion and a garlic. It's milder than a garlic. It's not milder than onion usually. They can vary like onions a little bit. And the shallots that turn translucent, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of dry white wine. And we're going to cook this until the wine is almost totally reduced. As you can see, it's already starting to make a sauce. We've got all the brown bits up from the bottom. I've always told those are flavor packets on the bottom of that pan. Don't throw those out. It's starting to thicken up. I'll begin to see the bottom of the pan. Our next addition is a 1/4 cup of cream. Turn the heat up. And we're going to do 1 minute. And this gives that creamy peppercorn sauce. Okay, that's 1 minute. Turn the heat off. I'm going to split the peppercorn sauce between the 2 steaks. There's one peppercorn steak. And there's the other peppercorn steak, or steak a Pov. Now, favorite add to this is fries. You got a pub meal. Thank you very much.